Have you ever noticed how the phrase healthy food kind of automatically makes us picture, sad, uninspired salads or just completely flavorless, clear broths? I feel like we've all been conditioned to believe that if something is incredibly good for our bodies, it's got to be at least a little bit punishing to our taste buds, right? Well, today we're going to completely shatter that misconception. We are diving deep into a brilliant traditional recipe for Kaeng Liang gung sut. This is an ancient Thai super soup made with fresh shrimp, and it literally rewrites the rules of healthy eating. It's fiercely flavorful, it's brilliantly fragrant, and it is just absolutely packed with nutritional benefits. By the time we finish this breakdown, you're going to see exactly why this dish has stood the test of time, and you'll know the exact secrets to recreating its signature aromatic magic right in your own kitchen. Let's get into it. Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with what makes this ancient soup so unique, then look at the vibrant vegetable harvest, uncover the secret to that fragrant curry paste, walk through a step-by-step cooking guide, and finally, look at why this is a nutritional powerhouse in a bowl. All right, part one, let's talk about this ancient Thai soup and how it totally wrecks that bland, healthy food stereotype. So, Kaeng Liang is, at its core, a very traditional, ancient Thai soup recipe. But please, do not let the word soup trick you into expecting some gentle, quiet little dish. No way. This broth is famous for a beautifully balanced, salty flavor profile, sure, but its real defining characteristic is this very specific, intense, spicy heat. Now, normally in Thai cooking, we kind of expect the heat to come entirely from massive handfuls of red or green chilies, right? But in Kaeng Liang, a huge chunk of that fiery kick comes directly from really generous amounts of pepper. It creates this deeply warming, pungent heat that just builds and builds wonderfully with every single spoonful. It literally warms you from the inside out. Just consider the contrast for a second. Your typical diet soups, they're usually watery, underseasoned, and honestly kind of a chore to get through. Authentic Kaeng Liang, on the other hand, is robust, it's peppery, it's wonderfully salty, and it's just absolutely bursting with fresh, vibrant life. It's living proof that a dish can have incredibly low calories while still boasting a remarkably complex and, honestly, aggressive flavor profile. This is a meal that genuinely excites your palate. It doesn't just act as fuel. Moving right along to section 2, the vibrant vegetable harvest. Let's look at preparing these fresh ingredients. Okay, so here is your essential harvest list for an authentic Kaeng Liang. We're using pumpkin, sponge gourd, baby corn, straw mushrooms, and a very specific, crucial herb, lemon basil. Now listen closely to this part. It is absolutely critical that you ensure you're plucking only the leaves of the lemon basil for this dish. The stems, they can be super tough and bitter, but the leaves themselves contain these incredibly aromatic essential oils that are going to ultimately define the entire final aroma of your soup. Out of that whole fantastic lineup of veggies, we really need to shine a spotlight on the pumpkin for a second, because pumpkin is an absolute nutritional heavyweight. It is loaded with antioxidants, which, as we know, are absolutely crucial for fighting off free radicals in the body. And the specific compounds found in these vibrant orange gourds are actually known to help reduce the risk of cancer. So it's adding this beautiful, subtle sweetness to the broth, but it's also doing some serious heavy lifting for your long-term health. But, as any good cook will tell you, preparation is everything. In traditional Thai cooking, how you actually cut a vegetable completely changes how it cooks and how it absorbs the broth. So for this soup, the pumpkin should be peeled and cut into pieces about ½ an inch thick. That ensures it gets tender but doesn't just disintegrate into total mush. The sponge gourd needs its skin peeled off, and then you want to cut it into slanted, equal-sized pieces to get a really great texture. And then both the baby corn and those beautiful straw mushrooms, just have them lengthwise. Getting these cuts right ensures that every single spoonful of your soup has the perfect textural balance. All right, on to section 3. This is the big one, the secret to fragrant curry paste, unlocking the deep aromas. When you're making this paste from scratch using a mortar and pestle, you cannot, I repeat, cannot just throw everything in all at once and start smashing. There is a very strict 6-step pounding sequence you have to follow. First, you take your dried shrimp, pound it until it's moderately fine, and then actually scoop it out and set it aside. Next, you go in with your pepper, pounding that down finely. Then you toss in the bird's eye chili for that sharp heat. Step 4 is adding fingerroot. And let me tell you, when you crush fresh fingerroot, the aroma is just intoxicating. Step 5, you drop in small chopped pieces of shallots and pound those until well combined. And finally, step 6, you add in your shrimp paste and then reintroduce that reserved dried shrimp back into the mix, pounding the whole shebang until it's perfectly unified. So you might be wondering, why go through all that trouble? Well, the magic is literally in the sequence. By pounding the ingredients in this exact specific order, you're meticulously managing the release of essential oils and moisture. The harder, drier ingredients break down first, which creates this gritty foundation that actually helps grind up the softer, wetter ingredients, like the shallots and the fingerroot later on. And setting that dried shrimp aside and bringing it back with the wet shrimp paste at the very end, that ensures a perfectly textured, intensely aromatic, and perfectly bound curry paste. This right here is the secret engine of your soup. Which brings us to section 4, step-by-step cooking guide, bringing it all together on the stove. Honestly, the actual cooking process is wonderfully straightforward once all your prep is done. First, just set a pot on your stove, add water, and get it boiling over medium heat. Second, you're going to take that beautiful curry paste you just pounded and dissolve it right into the boiling water. Third, once the broth is seasoned and roaring away, you drop in that massive harvest of vegetables, the pumpkin, the corn, the mushrooms, the gourd. And finally, step 4, once the vegetables are perfectly tender, you add in your fresh shrimp and your lemon basil leaves. Now, let's zoom in on step 2 for just a second, the seasoning. Achieving that perfectly balanced, salty flavor that Kaeng Liang is so famous for requires some pretty precise measurements to complement that spicy paste. You are going to need exactly 1 tablespoon of fish sauce, 2 teaspoons of seasoning powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt. You just stir these into the boiling broth right after you've added your curry paste. Make sure it all dissolves completely. This trifecta creates a deep, savory, incredibly umami-rich liquid that's just going to soak right into your pumpkin and your mushrooms. Oh, and I've got a fantastic pro tip for you for the very final step of the cooking process. When you add those fresh lemon basil leaves right at the end, literally right after the fresh shrimp turns pink, take your ladle and immediately push the basil down so it is completely submerged in the hot broth. Do not just let it sit on top. Pushing it down into the boiling liquid instantly shocks the leaves, and that forces them to release a massive burst of their essential oils directly into the soup. It finishes the dish with this absolutely incredible burst of fresh fragrance. Finally, section 5, nutritional powerhouse in a bowl. Let's talk about exactly why you need this soup in your life. If I had to perfectly capture the essence of this finished dish, I'd sum it up like this. It is, quite simply, a low-calorie, high-fiber marvel packed with a diverse array of vegetables and vitamin A. Because you aren't using heavy coconut milks or frying anything in a bunch of oil, the broth stays incredibly light and clean. But because of that immense amount of vegetables, you're getting a bowl that is surprisingly filling and structurally complex. Let's run through those concrete health stats one last time. This soup provides exceptionally low energy, which means it's very low in calories, making it absolutely perfect for weight management. Thanks to the pumpkin, the baby corn, and the mushrooms, it boasts extremely high dietary fiber to keep your digestion totally on track. It's rich in vitamin A, which is brilliant for your eyesight and your immune system. It's packed with essential minerals drawn right from that massive variety of veggies. And as we learned earlier, it's incredibly antioxidant rich, promoting long-term cellular health. It really is just a total marvel of traditional functional nutrition. So, there you have it. We've seen the vibrant ingredients, we've unlocked the strict secrets of the aromatic paste, and we've explored the massive health benefits of Kaeng Liang Gungsod. I think it proves that healthy eating really doesn't have to be a chore, right? It can actually be an absolute adventure for your senses. So, I have to ask, are you ready to finally trade in your boring healthy meals and try your hand at this fiery traditional Thai powerhouse? Go grab your mortar and pestle, track down some fresh lemon basil, and elevate your cooking today. Thanks so much for joining me for this deep dive, and I will catch you next time.